Well, very warm welcome to the review here at Cardiff. A very comprehensive win for England, winning by 106 runs over Bangladesh. Michael Athers and Ather Ali Khan, thanks for joining me. Athers, very dominant performance by England.
It was just too many runs, really. 386 is a hell of a lot of runs in any game, never mind a World Cup encounter. So once they'd got those runs on the board, it was always likely to go England's way. Bangladesh batted okay, I thought. I mean, Shakib's a marvellous cricketer. He's having a great tournament. Just had too much to do. And really the game, I think, was won and lost for both teams at the start of the day. The Bangladesh captain, Mashrafi, put England in. Once you don't take wickets on a pitch that did have a tinge of green, had been undercover for a day and a half, when you're not taking wickets with a new ball, it leaves you a long way to go against England.
It was the correct call. The pitch has been undercover. It's just the bowlers probably just didn't capitalise enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was something for the bowlers, and if they had bowled in certain areas, we would make it harder for the batsmen to score freely. I mean, they gave away 10 boundaries in the first 10 overs, so they just released the pressure. I think that's the kind of a challenge is for Courtney Walsh, Bangladesh head bowling coach, to ensure that the bowlers, whoever is in the squad, to make them believe that, yes, you got to bowl good line and length, and if you can attack the right areas, you will still be able to put some pressure. That was not the case.
You'll know from being an international batsman, success breeds success. They've seen Jos Buttler, Joe Root get centuries. Sitting up there in the balcony, a couple of guys missed out, and they wanted that century. Jason Roy today.
Absolutely, for a number of reasons. One, as you say, because other people have got runs in the team, and whilst you always want to take pleasure in the success of your teammates, there is a bit of internal competition in there as well. That internal dynamic that pushes the team on and tries to get players to improve. So Jason Roy will have looked at Root and Bairstow and will thought, yeah, I want a bit of that. And obviously had a poor game against Pakistan at Trent Bridge. So for all those reasons, he wanted to put in a good show today, and he did.
Atter, he was eyeing up a double hundred. There's a lot of people talking around the ground of potentially a double century, but not to be today.
Yeah, 3 sixes in the first 3 deliveries in that over. Went for the 4th one and got caught. But he looked looked devastating with the bat. I mean, once he gets set, you can hardly find any bowler to bowl really good deliveries when he's in that kind of a form, and absolutely brilliant to have that kind of a start, and then in the end 386 untouchables.
Well, there was plenty happening when he got a century. There was a bit of a collision with umpire Joel Wilson. We all had a bit of a chuckle, didn't we?
Well, I reckon he played a bit of rugby at Whitgift School or wherever he was, Jason Roy, and he's a handy lad. He's quite thick set. He's not somebody you want to be taking on, I don't think, if you were playing centre against him on a rugby field, and you can see umpire there gets a complete flattening. Yeah, handy lad. And I think the England players enjoyed it on the balcony as well.
Well, it just shows the camaraderie and the fun that the England boys are having at the moment. They're a really strong unit. They're enjoying each other's success. I've noticed this before, actually. Just before the start of the World Cup, the last game in that Pakistan series, when Chris Woakes got 5 and David Willey was the first to congratulate him. And Willie knew that his place was right on the line. But I think that's an important marker for any team. You want to still enjoy other players' success, even if yourself you're not having the best of days. Jos Buttler, we've come to get used to him playing so well. Smashed one into the River Taff. Played well for his half century, but a bit of a concern with a hip injury.
Well, Owen Morgan at the end of play said that there was no serious concerns, that he just didn't keep wicket as a precaution, and of course England will hope that's the case, because he's such an important player. Today he came in ahead of Stokes and Morgan. As soon as England get to that 30th over stage, if Butler's not in, he is the next man in, because he gives the team such acceleration in the last third of the innings.
Question for you, Athers. Is Jos Buttler England's best batsman? I'm putting you on the spot here now.
He's the most destructive batsman, and I think he's the batsman that opposition captains fear the most. If you said to me, all formats, all conditions, who's England's best player, I think Joe Root is England's classiest and best player. But if you said, who are the captains worried about, if you said to all the captains here, we'll give you 1 England wicket cheaply tomorrow, they'd probably say they'd take Butler's wicket. Well,
fantastic. Well, they're excellent with the bat. Liam Plunkett back in the side today was excellent with the ball. I just caught up with Liam. Let's hear what he had to say. Well, I'm joined by Liam Plunkett. Liam, back to winning ways. Boys must be happy.
Yeah, it is. It's always obviously disappointing to get a defeat. We weren't at our best the last game. Obviously a lot better today. The guys started off well. Great partnership, them two up top. Obviously onto a monster score, and it was obviously good to go out there and to ball them out.
When you get a score like 386 on the board, does it make it a lot easier, or is it the same discipline with the ball?
You've got to be the same discipline, mate. Obviously keep your standards. 380 is a big target. You know they're going to come at some point, but I think we bowled well up top and in the middle period and kept them to 4-5 and over at some points. They're struggling to get away, and obviously later on they've got to try and take us down, which means wickets for the boys.
You're good at the back end with the bat, strike rate at 300, and then good with the ball. You must be delighted with your own personal performance.
Yeah. Our batting goes all the way to 11. Some days I'm 8, some days I'm 11. Depends how the coach and skipper feels. But it's nice to go out there. The boys down the order, with this squad, you know some of the guys that they work hard on the batting, they put time in there. So it's actually nice to go out there and showcase your striking abilities.
You made a very good point off camera about bowling to better batsmen make you a better bowler. It's a really interesting point. Can you just give us a bit more insight into that?
Yeah, when I played a lot of county cricket, the teams I've won with, if you got early on in my career with Durham, you got Harmy, Onions, myself, bowling at them guys and make it tough in them net sessions. And when they go out into the middle, it's obviously a bit easier. A bit like that with these guys, well bowling at these top batsmen every day in, day out. And if you bowl a bad ball, it goes into the stands at training. So you always got to switch on at training, and it helps us as a bowling unit to make us better.
Fantastic, you're brilliant today. Well done.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers, mate.
Well, lovely to hear from Liam Plunkett. Atta, very quickly on Liam Plunkett, interesting point. Bowling to these batsmen, making him a better bowler, even at his ripe old age.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be really, really honest. I mean, if you look at the strength of England team, I think they've probably got the best, strongest batting lineup in the World Cup, no question about that. And if you have those same batsmen in the nets over and over again, then you've got to be up at your best to ensure that you bowl in good areas, good line and length, because you try to different skills and you've got to go at a certain level where you trouble the batsman. And he's up against a few of the best in the world. So that's how it is for the bowlers.
Well, talking about line and length, there was a bit of line and length, a bit of chin music today. Atta, Jofra Archer, 95 miles an hour, hostile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will always feel that if you have someone like Jofra Archer in your team, he'll trouble you right from the word go. He bowls quick, he bowls fast, he bowls very, and he'll test you with short pitch deliveries. He'll hurt the batsman as well if he gets it right. And he's also got the wicket-taking abilities where he can pick up wickets at regular intervals. I thought it was a beauty to Shumo Shaka, which hit the top of the off stump and flew all the way to third man for a six. The ball itself, I think, he's such a great find for England.
Well, we're ducking and diving here in front of the camera. We're wincing. It's unbelievable stuff, Athers, isn't it?
Really quick, 94, 95 miles an hour, and effortlessly so. Really good bowler to left-handers because he gets in tight and he threatens the tram lines there. So he's added an extra dimension to England's attack. They've got all bases covered now with Archer and Wood providing pace. They've got Plunkett and Rashid who can take wickets in the middle overs. Wokes is handy with the new ball, and a bit of variety from others as well. Stokes can bowl, obviously Moeen Ali can come into the side, and Joe Root. So they look strong at the moment, England.
Well, one player that did master to a certain extent the Indian bowling attack was Shakib Al Hasan. He's having a wonderful campaign, Athers.
He is 2 half-centuries in the first 2 games and 100 in this game. His bowling didn't go quite so well today. He took a bit of treatment, to be fair, but I thought he played superbly this afternoon under great pressure. I mean, he came in and that run rate's already at 7, 8 and over, but he is a terrific player.
Atta, we spoke about before the game, converting a half-century into a century. He did just that. He was listening to us. And
I think it's also important for other players to look up how he bats in these situations. He scores runs quickly, rotates the strike, and never misses out an opportunity to put the bad ball away for a boundary. Fantastic innings, but not good enough for a chase of such a big chase of 300. He's having a fantastic tournament so far. Michael Atherton already mentioned that he's got 250s and 100, and perhaps bowling could have been a little bit tighter, but then again, he looks to be in really fine touch.
Well, long may it continue. Thank you, gentlemen, for this morning and this afternoon. The World Cup standings now. Victory for England. England second place with 4 points. Bangladesh down in 8th with 2. New Zealand still top of the table on net run rate. And don't forget to follow us on social, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, hashtag CWC19. It's been a wonderful day's cricket. We hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. Goodbye.